and welcome to the Today's Money Masters. I'm your host, Jean-Paul Menu. The Today's Money Masters competition comprises 3 professional investors and a novice, each provided with $500,000 to invest. The participants will invest in stocks, bonds, and collective investment schemes. They will share their strategies over the 1-year period, at the end of which the top portfolio manager will be declared. So let's join the masters for this exciting journey. Last week, we met with Siobhan Legister and Richard Longmore. This week's program, we're joined by Timar Jackson and Andre Yapp, 2 of the Masters competitors. They'll be sharing their strategies and opinions on investing. Welcome, gentlemen. Glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Timar, let's start with you.
Well, JP, I am a research and structured products analyst at NCB Capital Markets. Personally, I also invest. I'm an avid investor. I quite enjoy, investing my own funds in the stock market and playing the market. In terms of academics, I spent my undergraduate doing actuarial science. But after a few years in the industry, I decided that, I wanted a pivot. That's when I decided I wanted to do investments and went on to do my MBA at the University of Oxford. Thanks to the Rhodes Scholarship. And since I've been back, it's been a great experience. Really enjoyed the fact that Jamaica's stock market is one of the best performing stock markets in the world, and I can see why. And really lovely to be a part of this competition, where I'll be able to employ my knowledge, my experience, and my expertise to display it to the entire Jamaica.
Absolutely.
And hopefully I'll win this competition.
Well, we're glad to have you on board. Andre, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Andre Yapp. I'm from Credit Union Fund Management Company. I'm a senior research analyst there. Personally, I really enjoy investing. I happened to stumble along this career path by chance. Originally went to university to be an engineer, but then found out that I really was just drawn to the idea of the science of making a dollar into 2. So, I really enjoy this particular career field. I, like Timar, also have my own personal investment portfolio, which is concentrated here in our local market in Jamaica. And I'm hoping to do my best in this competition and hopefully show up the big boys.
Absolutely. And we look forward to helping other people out there turn a dollar into 2 as they go, right? What are some of the key strategies you will employ to ensure success in the top performing stocks? Andre, let's start with you.
For me personally, the number one thing that I would try to do is try to make sure that I gather and investigate as much as possible. I think the number one strategy when you're investing is to have as much information at your disposal as possible.
I will employ 2 well-known strategies. I'll use a growth strategy and a value strategy. In terms of value, I'll be looking for stocks that seem undervalued for whatever reason. You have stocks sometimes might be undervalued due to the fact that they're falling out of favor in the eyes of investors. I'll definitely scan the market to find those. In terms of growth stocks, I look for stocks that on a quarterly basis show very strong growth in earnings because those stocks promise give a great promise in terms of potential capital gains.
Higher, right.
Yes. So,
Sure.
whenever stocks will perform once the fundamentals such as revenue, earnings, and so forth are performing well. So, I look for those stocks while I invest.
All right. And what percentage return do you expect to make on your $500,000? Let's start with Andre.
I wouldn't necessarily want to spit out an arbitrary number because it depends on what the market gives me as we go along.
Sure.
That's not to say if the market's on a decline, I expect to underperform because you can still pick winners in a down market. Likewise, you can pick losers in an up market. So my expectation, it depends on what the market gives me, and I'll try to seize them as they present themselves, the opportunities that is.
Okay, so I'll be very aggressive and I'll be very strategic. On a weekly basis, I'll try to see if I can eke out somewhere about 10% out of the market. If you compound that for the year, you can work it out. It's over 100% return. It's probably more than tenfold. So,
okay. So you're very optimistic.
I'm very optimistic about the possibilities. I just need to make sure that I remain focused and stick with the strategy.
All right, we're up on a break. We'll be back with more with Timar and Andre after this. You now with Timar Jackson and Andre Yapp. Gentlemen, I want to get specific. The Sagicor Select Funds IPO is now open. What is that, and would you invest? Why or why not? Who wants to take it first?
I don't mind. So Sagicor Select Fund IPO, essentially what it is what they call a listed equity fund. If you're familiar with foreign markets, it's similar to an exchange traded fund. So what it is, it essentially tracks a particular index. In this case, in Jamaica, what it'll be tracking is our financial index. So it'll be tracking companies like NCB, Sagicor, Scotia, JMMB, all the way down to the smallest companies like your SSL Venture Capital. So it attempts to mirror that particular index and essentially gives investors an avenue to get exposure to all of those companies in the form of one stock.
Okay.
So that's what it is, right?
Okay. Would you invest?
Certainly, JP, because I mean, based on my assessment, the fund is being IPO'd at a discount to what the market is at. So that's a big plus for me. In addition, I quite like the financial sector. And, this is a nice passive sort of strategy for me to get into the financial sector without being exposed to any individual stock.
Okay.
So definitely it's a buy for me.
Andre?
I mean, I'm a bit contrary because, for my personal portfolio, I think I have enough exposure to the financial sector. And in terms of the competition, this is a stock pickers competition. You want to pick winners. So you would want to pick the winners from that group. You wouldn't necessarily want I wouldn't want exposure to some of those companies that are within the index.
Okay.
So for me personally, it wouldn't be a buy. However, that's not to say for a different investor, it's not a good investment opportunity, just speaking personally.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there for this week. Those were Timar Jackson and Andre Yapp telling us about their expected winning strategies going into the Masters competition. Join us next week, same time, for another exciting episode of the Masters competition. Follow the pros and the novice each week on the Masters. Listen and analyze the strategies with the Masters on RJR 94 FM Thursdays at 8:45 a.m. as they challenge each other to stay ahead. And also look out for their portfolios in the Sunday Gleaner. The Masters competition is a product of Today's Money Limited, brought to you in partnership with NCB Capital Markets Limited, Proven Wealth Limited, Money Masters Limited, Credit Union Fund Management Company Limited, and the Jamaica Stock Exchange. I'm Jean-Paul Manu. The Masters is another fine product from Today's Money Limited.